The Trump administration is reportedly building the case for military action against Cuba now. U.S. intelligence officials told Axios this morning that Cuba has stockpiled more than 300 attack drones supplied by Russia and Iran over the past 3 years, with Cuban officials reportedly discussing using them against 3 potential targets: Key West, the Guantanamo base, and U.S. Navy ships in the region. Then also with this, here's a key thing. The Axios reporter wrote that the senior official admitted the intelligence, quote, could become a pretext for U.S. military action, which seems to sound like they're saying, hey, this might be a setup for war. All while CIA Director Ratcliffe flew to Cuba last Thursday. This upcoming Wednesday, which is actually Cuban Independence Day, the DOJ is set to unseal an indictment of 94-year-old Raul Castro for a 1996 plane shoot-down. I mean, more sanctions are being teed up. Anonymous officials apparently are leaking out classified intelligence to this outlet, and U.S. Navy drones have been openly orbiting Cuba since April. And if any of this just looks like the same script the Trump administration ran on Venezuela in the months before the January raid that removed Maduro. All while, again, this Axios piece is so weird. At the bottom of the piece, the senior official admits, quote, no one's worried about fighter jets from Cuba. It's not even clear they have one that can fly. So apparently Cuba's kind of a nothing threat. They can't even get a fighter jet off the ground, but somehow they're also a national security crisis worth of war. So while it seems like we've seen this movie before, share to spread the word and follow to stay in the loop. The Trump administration's report.
All right, shalom, shalom. Back with another video. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah Kadash. Also give double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS that rule well and teach for forgiveness, 100% truth. All right, so I actually pulled this article up as well, what the guy was talking about, okay, dealing with Cuba. Now, you know, the U.S. has this blockade on Cuba, and they're trying to get them to do a regime change, okay, trying to get them to make a deal, and it's not going the way how they wanted to go, right? So I'm going to read a little bit of this. This is a Cuban regime denies report of possible drone attacks on Guantanamo and Key West, because there was articles that they got like 300 drones, and you know, they were going to attack, you know, these parts of the U.S. So it says Rodriguez also stressed that the island has the right to exercise a legitimate self-defense recognized by the UN Charter. The Cuban regime responded Sunday to an Axios exclusive report, which, citing confidential intelligence shared with the digital outlet, claims Cuba has acquired hundreds of military drones and is weighing possible attack scenarios against targets in the United States, including Key West. Okay, because there was articles of them of it speaking on this as well. It says Cuban Foreign Minister Bruno Rodriguez said Sunday afternoon that certain media outlets are playing along, peddling slander and leaking insinuations from the U.S. government itself. The same post, he insisted that Cuba neither threatens nor wants war. He added that without any legitimate pretext, the U.S. government is building day after day a fraudulent case to justify the ruthless economic war against the Cuban people and eventual military aggression, right? And this is a part of Esau's scheme, okay? And what they do is they paint a false narrative, okay? Just like you've seen what's going on in Iran, what happened to Venezuela, okay? Because when this devil, he wants something, okay, he's going to find ways to paint that false narrative about, okay, a particular nation or country or individual, all right, to justify their actions and going in there, okay, and doing what they do, okay, doing what the wicked do, right? So this is what they mean by they're trying to, you know, find ways to justify their actions, okay, and doing the things that they're doing in Cuba. All right, and just like the other video said that, you know, it's just the same thing that they're seeing what happened in Venezuela, okay? So it says, fraudulent case to justify the ruthless economic war against the Cuban people and eventual military aggression. Rodriguez also reiterated that the island has the right to exercise the legitimate self-defense recognized by the UN Charter. According to Axios, the Caribbean island would be discussing the possibility of attacks against the U.S. military base on Guantanamo Bay, military facilities, possibly Key West. It says shortly after the report was published, the Cuban embassy in the United States shared a message on its X account. Like any country, Cuba has the right to defend itself against external aggression that is calls legitimate self-defense and is protected by the international law and the Charter of the United Nations. They wrote. The message added that those in the United States who seek the submission and, in fact, and the destruction of Cuban nation through military aggression and war do not waste a single moment manufacturing pretext, creating and spreading falsehood, okay? And this is what Esau does, okay? He's a forger of lies, okay, and falsehood, okay, which is the same thing, okay? He's a liar, okay? He's a thief, okay? This is all the characteristic of this devil, man. It says, for his part, Cuba Deputy Foreign Minister Carlos Fernandez de Caso said that the anti-Cuba effort aimed at justifying, without any excuse whatsoever, military aggression against Cuba, intensifying by the hour with increasingly implausible accusations. The United States is the aggressor country. Cuba is the country under attack, he added on. Meanwhile, Florida Representative Mario Diaz-Balart shared the Axios story and reacted by writing, "We've seen the threat drones pose in the Middle East. Now they are 90 miles from our shores and near critical infrastructure. It's clear the Cuban regime poses a threat to national security." Okay, so now Cuba's a threat, right? Rep. Maria Elver Salazar said that the world has already seen what hostile regimes can do with drones and those capabilities in the hands of the Cuban regime. Just 90 miles from Florida should concern every American. A dictatorship aligned with America's adversaries operating so close to our shores isn't just a regional issue. It's a direct threat to our national security. Florida Republican Rep. Carlos Jimenez also responded to reports saying the regime in Cuba threatens U.S. security. Okay. And this is all Esau trying to, justify his actions, okay, because, this is what he does. Okay. That's what his characteristics, okay, his blessing with the sword, his military, okay, and this is how he, he covets these fields, right? Let's get a preset. I think it's this is Micah 2:1. It says, "Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it's in the power of their hand," right? So it's in the power of their hand, okay, to do these things. And this is why they were able to, do these to these particular nations, and they have not had to answer to nobody, okay? So, they come up, they devise these eco plans, okay? And, this is going into multiple things that they're doing, but just to stay on topic, okay, what they're doing to Cuba is, okay, they're depriving that nation, okay, for what they need to survive, okay, and this is why, America has put that blockade on them, okay, and that's what America does, okay. America is that great city that reigned over the kings of the earth. All right. If you don't go along with their policies or what their systems or what they want you to do, they could put a blockade on you. Okay. And then any nation that's trying to help you, they'll raise the tariffs on them. Okay. So making the other nations not fuck with Cuba. Okay. This is what they devil do, right? This is verse 2. "And they covet fields and they take them by violence, and houses, and take them away, so they oppress a man in his house and even a man in his heritage." This is what they did in Venezuela. This is what they did in Cuba. This is what they're trying to do in Iran. This is what they've been doing, okay, for years, okay. This is what this devil's been doing, okay. They take these fields by violence, okay, by the force of the sword, okay, which that's Esau's blessing, okay. They oppress a man in his house and even a man in his heritage. All right. So what we're seeing is, them trying to build a case to justify their actions to go in there. Okay, because they're reckless. All right. They live up on they get off to bloodshed. Okay. And what they're doing is, they are attacking the things that they need to survive to try to make a deal. All right, they don't pose no threat, but it's just them trying to justify the actions to go in there to do what they want to do. Okay, by force. Okay, the force of the sword. Okay, they're military. Okay, so matter of fact, let's get the apocrypha real quick. Get Sirach 39 and 25. This is Sirach 39 and 25. For the good are good things created from the beginning, so evil things for the sinner. The principal things for the whole use of man's life are water, fire, iron, and salt, flour of wheat, honey, milk, and the blood of the grape, and oil and clothing. Okay? So, this devil, he's restricting, you know, that oil going in there. Okay, so now they can't no transportation because oil, you need fuel. Okay, so they pretty much, Esau was starving them out over there. Okay, and that's them depriving the nation for what they need to survive. Okay, to function. Okay, so you're pressuring them. Okay, to make a deal. You're forcing them. Okay, to comply with what you want them to do. Right. It says all these things are for good to the godly, so to the sinner they are turned into evil. Right, because the one that has control of all these things, they have a leverage. Okay, and that's that them having able to put a blockade on that. Okay, it's a form of control. Okay, so Esau has that leverage. Okay, because it's in the power of him to do these things. Okay, the earth was given into the hand of the wicked. Okay, we know Esau to be the wicked that the Bible speaks of. Okay, the man of sin, the man of lawlessness. Right. So he's depriving that nation, okay, from their essentials, okay, and oil being one of the top ones, okay, and it says all these things are for the good to the godly, so to the sinners they are turned into evil, right? Okay, because they use it, they using it, in wickedness, okay, they're using it to gain leverage, okay, control nations, okay, that don't comply. All right. Salakia. And according to the scriptures, right, we get Sirach 34. Was it 34? Yeah, this is a Sirach 34 and 22. It says, he that taketh away his neighbor's living, slay of him, and he that defraudeth the labor of his hire is a bloodshedder. Okay, and that fits Esau perfectly for what he's doing to Cuba. Okay, because he's taking he's causing this nation to suffer by cutting off the things that they need. Okay, cutting off their oil supply. Okay, if you look it up, you see the state and condition that Cuba's in. Okay, so Esau, he's a bloodshedder, and he seeks blood. Okay, and this is why he's trying to justify their actions. Okay, by creating this falsehood for them to go in there. Okay, because he wants blood. All right, that's what he wants. Let's get Habakkuk 2 and 4. This is Habakkuk 2 and 4. It says, behold, his soul which lifted up is not upright in him. Right. And it's talking about Esau. Okay, that spirit in him is not uprighted. Okay. And it's because he was created to be the wicked. Okay, so he can't do right. Okay, he wasn't created to do good. Okay, he was created to be the wicked, right? And there's no changing that, right? But the just shall live by faith. By his faith. Okay, going into the Israelites, starting with the elect. That's verse 5. It says, "Ye also, because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man." Okay, him transgressing by wine is talking about his philosophies. Okay, his ideologies, his system. Okay, he is a proud man. Okay, and this devil is proud, very proud. Okay. And this is why he thinks that he's able to do the things, okay, that he does to these nations, okay, due to his pride, okay, which we all know that was a snare laid on him to get him built up, okay, with all this pride. It says, neither keep it at home who will larger his desire as hell, right? So he's always in everyone's countries trying to tell him what to do, okay, to push his policies, okay. And this is what you're seeing in what this devil's doing, okay. It's multiple accounts of him: Venezuela, okay, Cuba, Greenland, okay. This devil is never satisfied, right? It says, who enlarges his desire as hell and is as deaf and cannot be satisfied. Okay, I'll read that again. Who enlarges his desire as hell and is as deaf and cannot be satisfied, but gather unto him all nations and heap it unto him all people. Okay, so just like the grave never gets full, okay, Esau greed is never satisfied. Okay, he's a very proud, okay. And you know, hell here just simply means the grave. Okay, it means Sheol. Okay, and the death and grave is never they go hand in hand, okay, and they're never full. Right? Let's get a precept. Let's get Proverbs 27 and 20. This is Proverbs 27 and 20. It says, hell and the destructions are never full, so the eyes of the man are never satisfied. Right? So, you know, Esau, he's never satisfied. Okay. He wants the whole world. Okay. He's a greedy individual. Okay, he cannot have enough. Okay, this is why he's these other nations. Okay, just it's not enough. He wants to control. And the simple why he's gonna want everybody, he wants to get everybody checked. Right? It says, but he gathered into him all nations, heaped them to all people. Should not all these take up a parable against him and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his, how long, and to him that laid it with thick clay. Okay, and that's going into the word clay. It says, I bite you. It says, the weight of pledges, heavy debts. Okay, so these nations they control these nations by debt. All right. Verse 7, shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, in the weight that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them, because thou hast spoiled many nations. All the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of man's blood, and for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein. Okay, so, you know, America plunders other nations, okay, and builds wealth and uses violence to pretty much Salakia, got a brain. So pretty much all the wealth and all the stuff that America has gained, okay, was through violence and through oppression, okay, which is going to come back on them, right? And this is what you're seeing, okay? Everything that they built upon, their kingdom they built upon, was on bloodshed, oppression, okay, unjust gains, put it like that, okay, which they gonna reap what they sow, right? It says, woe to him that coveted, evil covetous to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. Okay, so, you know, everything that Esau was doing, okay, is going to bite him in his ass, right? Let's get Isaiah 14. Matter of fact, let's get Jeremiah 15:23, because America is the hammer of the whole earth, right? This is Jeremiah 15:23. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations, right? Okay, when you look at a hammer is an instrument of force. Okay, straight pounding, continuous strokes. Okay, so through America's military power and being a political superpower, okay, they crushed on these other nations. Okay, so it says, how is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How has Babylon become a desolation among nations? Okay, and how it's going to cut asunder is that the Heavenly Father is weakening Babylon. Okay, and then ultimately, when Yahweh Shai and the angel comes, they're going to destroy this place with missiles. Okay, so it says, how has Babylon become a desolation among the nations? Okay, so how did Babylon become weakened? Okay, Babylon no longer holds his status as it once had. Okay, verse 24 says, I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou was not aware. Thou art found and also caught, because thou hast striven against the Lord. Okay, and the Heavenly Father laid that snare. Okay, that snare was being laid, okay, for Babylon the Great, which is America, okay, to build this stuff up to the way it is, to think that, you know, that they can be taken down. They're untouchable. Okay. And, you know, that's why Scripture says that the pride of thy heart have deceived thee. All right. So when you go down, okay, you're going to know it was through divine judgment, okay, through Yahweh Bashem Shai is the reason why you got brought down. Okay, going to Daniel 4:17, the Heavenly Father, he sets up these kings, and he brings them down. Matter of fact, let's get that real quick. This is Daniel 4:17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers, and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of man, and give it to whomsoever he will, and set up over it the basis of man. Okay, showing you it's the Heavenly Father, okay, that ruleth in the kingdom of man. Okay, he give it to whomsoever he will, right? And he set up over the basis of the man, with the base of the man being Esau. All right, because if you check Esau's track record, okay, he's the ones that was dwelling in them caves. Okay, they're the bottoms, they're the scums of the earth. All right, so it's clear as day that America is the hammer of the earth. Okay, that reigneth over the kings of the earth. Right, because what other nation that can do the things that America can do and get away with it? Right. Let's get Isaiah 14:1. You know what? We'll start at 1. This is Isaiah 14:1. It says, for Yahweh Bashem Shai will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave into the house of Jacob. Okay, and these strangers talking about the Israelite foreigners coming into the fold. Okay, which we, us that were in the dead state, come back into the fold. Okay, understanding that we are Israelites. Okay, going into, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. You come into this truth. Now you're going to cleave to the house of Jacob with the rest of the believers, right? Verse 2, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. Okay, talking about the other nations. Okay, we're going to possess them, all right? And they should take them captives, who captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. Okay, and that's what's coming to, these other nations. All right, so it says, and it shall come to pass in that day, Yahweh Bashem Shai shall give thee rest from thy sorrow, and from thy fear, and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve. Okay, because we had to go through these captivities according to prophecy. Okay, so now we're coming out of that, right? And because we're going to get that rest in the kingdom. Okay, we're not Micah 2:10. This is not our rest. All right, so if you're trying to find rest out here, you're not going to get it. Okay, this world is polluted and has to go. All right, it says verse 4, thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon. and say, how have the oppressor seized the golden city seized, right? Okay, Babylon, how's the take this power against the king of Babylon? Okay, so this pretty much, taunting. Okay, Babylon. Okay, how have the oppressor ceased? Okay, America being that global oppressor. Okay, look what he's doing to these other nations. Okay, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand that. Okay, this is talking about America. Okay, who oppresses, okay, the entire world globally like America does? Able to put blockades, raise up tariffs, you know what I'm saying? Go in there and take a president, kidnap a president, right? Steal their resources, right? It's talking about America. It said the Lord had broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers, right? So he took their authority, their power. Okay. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. He that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted and unhindered, right? So he that ruled the nations in anger. Okay, what is he doing to Cuba? Right? What did he do to Venezuela? Look what he's doing to Iran. Right? And I'm just bringing out, recent stuff, but he been doing this for a very long time, for years. Right? It says, and persecuted and none hinder. Okay? Because these nations, okay, they're not going to defend Babylon. Right? So what we're seeing is, like I said, the hammer of the earth, okay? Trying to find ways, okay, to justify them sending the military in there. They want to go on, they want to get aggressive. Okay, they want to go in there and shed blood. Okay, because that's just who they are, right? Okay, let's get I think it's Ezekiel 35. And I'm gonna I'll start at 5. This is Ezekiel 35:5. You know what? We'll start at get the subheading, and it's talking about a message for Edom, right? And Edom is Esau. Okay, Esau and America, Babylon and Greece all associated together. All right. It says, moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it. Okay, Mount Seir is Edom. Okay, and say unto thee, thus says Yahweh power, behold, O Mount Seir, I'm against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and shalt know that I am Yahweh. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword, in the time of the calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Okay, so this perpetual hatred, okay, Esau had, okay, was a continual hatred towards his brother Jacob. Okay, going towards the birthright and the blessing, okay, that Jacob supplanted Esau, but it was through the spirit that, it was supposed to happen that way. It says, therefore, as I live, says Yahweh power, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee, since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Okay, I brought this out because that's what Esau, he loves violence. Okay, let's get this in NLT real quick. It says, as surely as I live, says the sword of the Lord, since thou shalt know the taste for blood, I will give you a bloodbath of your own. Your turn has come. Okay. So since Esau have not hated blood, okay, blood shall pursue him. Okay. So he's going to get, okay, he's pretty much just going to get what he's been dishing out. Right? Bloody city. This is Nahum 3:1. It says, woe to the bloody city, it is full of lies and robbery, the prey depart not. Right. Woe to the bloody city, being America. Okay. This America is built on bloodshed. Esau shed a lot of blood. Okay. It's full of lies and robbery. To pray depart not. Okay, it's full of lies. Okay, he's a forger of lies. He's a liar. Right. You see what he's doing to Cuba? He's trying to create this falsehood to justify his actions. That way he can go on there, you know, and do what he do. Right. So this devil, man, that cruel Lord. Okay, and that's what we're seeing, man. This devil at work. Right. He knows he has a short time. Right. So that's all I got through the spirit, man. I hope this video was edifying, and I want to say shalom.